If you are thinking of selling Lego online or starting your own Bricklink store, you may be wondering about how to get started. How is it that people seem to do this as a full-time job, and is it even possible? In this video, I'm going to reveal 5 myths about starting your own store on Bricklink or selling online. What I was told about what would happen in my first 90 days of starting a store, and what was actually the reality. If you're about to create your own store, then these 5 myths may just change the way that you think about selling Lego on Bricklink. The first piece of advice I received is that most new stores struggle to get started. This is a myth. It's fairly straightforward. The only requirements you need is 1 piece of positive feedback as a buyer on Bricklink and a photo of you holding your own Lego. You can copy postage rates from other sellers and find many ways to write out your terms and conditions. If done incorrectly though, it can feel like a struggle. Just like anything, it will take time to get started. There are some finer details to figure out on Bricklink, but it's one of the most scalable methods for selling online. If you're a Lego enthusiast or adult fan of Lego already, it's easy to get started. You'll already have an idea of parts and minifigures, and you may even have some inventory of your own ready to upload to Bricklink. By having 1 piece of feedback, you already know what it takes to purchase from a store, and may even find some ways to improve that process already. Let's get a bit personal. I started my store with very little knowledge, but within a few weeks I already felt like I'd vastly improved that. I'd only placed 1 order on Bricklink before, so I wasn't really aware of the whole buying process, but it gave me a small insight into what I needed to do. The truth should be realistic about starting your store. Like everything, it takes time to develop your knowledge, but it is one of the easiest ways to get started. But hold on a second, I can see what you're thinking. Yes, it's easy to get started, but I'm not getting any orders. Well, the second piece of advice I received was that you won't get any orders in your first 3 months. And that's a myth. However, there might be a reason why you aren't getting any orders on Bricklink. This might need to come with a bit of a disclaimer, which is you won't get any orders if you're not realistic. All your pieces will not sell for the 6-month average from the start. Some pieces you're going to hold on to for quite a while. You will need to adjust your pricing and adjust your expectations. Remember, you are on a list with other sellers, and if your price is the same or higher when you're first starting out, what's to stop people from buying from them instead? How do I fix that? Well, find your point of difference. From the start, we set up on social media and sought to build a connection with local Lego builders and enthusiasts to show that we actually do care. We linked with multiple platforms and thought about different ways that we could sell in the future. We told our family and friends and people we knew that actually liked Lego. But most importantly, we made sure our pricing was competitive on Bricklink so that we were higher up the list when people were browsing for parts. But when you're starting out, you're getting your name out there. You're allowing people to trust you with their money. Well, where's the proof in all this? Well, in our first 90 days, we had 40 different orders. Follow this advice and who knows, you might even get more orders than we did in our first 90 days. We're aiming to release content like this every Monday, so why don't you click the subscribe button and keep up to date for all the different tips and tricks we're giving you as a Bricklink seller to improve your selling online. And drop a comment below and let us know any questions that you might have about the processes and systems that we use when selling on Bricklink. The third piece of advice that we received was it's going to take a lot of work. This is a myth. Now understand that you may have clicked on this video because you've just started a store, and after hearing that you might feel a need to start yelling at your screen. It is a myth. It's going to take a very, very, very large amount of work to run your store, more than you might even realize. Be prepared to think you know everything about Bricklink, to find out a week later that half of what you knew is now incorrect. And let's not talk about Brickpocalypse. Sorry. Those systems that you set up at the start might need to be changed about 3 months in. Think you have everything organized the way you want? Wrong. That 1 piece of Lego you put in the drawer that you really need for the order, the most valuable piece that your customer really wants, has vanished into thin air. Maybe you've just bought a used bulk lot of Lego and realized that the pieces don't magically upload themselves. Everyone has different reasons for starting a Bricklink store and different storage options, so it might take a lot more work than you actually think. It might be easy to get started, but don't underestimate the amount of work you need to do to keep your store going. The fourth piece of advice I received was that it's going to be really hard. Hi, me again. You may be thinking, didn't you just tell us that it's going to take a lot of work, more work than you might think? So how is that not hard? It's a myth because it's going to be fun. If you've started a Bricklink store or are thinking about it, you must have some interest in Lego. If you don't like change and don't like thinking about your business or hobby store model, you don't want to adapt, then it might feel quite hard. But I believe all of this makes it fun. You never have the same week of sales. Just when I thought I'd messed up my pricing, I received the largest order that I'd ever had. You can't always predict what people are going to buy. You just need to control what you're able to control. Customer service, organization and storage, and keep uploading those pieces. I had a slow week of orders once, so I decided to run a 2-day sale, only to have no orders during that sale, and I was questioning even running a Bricklink store. 15 minutes after the sale ended, I had a big order for a large number of parts. Bricklink and Lego selling can be unpredictable, but it's going to be fun. And finally, advice number 5 is you need to set clear goals from the start. That's a myth. Now I believe in setting clear goals, but let's get a bit honest and real for a second. I had no goal to start. Well, my only goal was to grow, which was a pretty vague goal at that. As I started out week upon week, I discovered different ways and methods that I could do to improve. My only goal turned into get better and enjoy the process, so that's what I did. I started asking questions then. Was one platform enough, or could I diversify to something else? Did this container system work, or should I invest in this one? What software can I use to make processes and systems go more smoothly? And more about this in a future video. And good luck to anyone trying to create a goal for orders, because you just can't predict what people are going to buy on Bricklink. I once had a piece sold just for 2 cents to somebody in a rural area, which cost them $13 for delivery. Meanwhile, somebody else put an order in for almost 2,000 pieces, which felt like every part in my store. The minifigure I was sure was a winner, still sitting in my store. Meanwhile, something I thought I'd overpriced, sold within hours of me uploading. These 5 pieces of advice should really be changed if we don't want them to become myths for others. Rather than most new stores struggle, it should be unprepared stores will struggle. Instead of you won't get any orders, it should be you will get orders for your store when your store has value for your customers. A lot of work should be a very, very large amount of work. But remember, it isn't going to be hard. Selling on Bricklink can be really enjoyable and is likely why you're here in the first place. And finally, don't worry about your goals, just get started. Upload that first list, do some research, and enjoy the process of developing your knowledge. As long as you improve each day and aim to get better, then you're on the right track for selling on Bricklink. So there you have it, 5 myths about selling in your first 90 days on Bricklink. Did I get it right? Let me know in the comments if that was your experience, or if you had myths of your own. If you want more of this type of content, then head over to this video showing you some of the ideas in action as we went about buying Lego from stores in China.